Most of the data that you download, for example, from your bank and import into Excel will come into Excel pretty well organized. For example, I'm going to open a file first of all that is a CSV or comma separated value file. This is the contents of the file. You can see that every single field in this particular file is separated from each other one by a comma. And comma separated values are easy for Excel to recognize. To open the file, I'll choose File and then Open, and I'm going to browse to my folder. The problem here is that we're right now seeing Excel files, and I want to see the comma separated value file, so I'm going to need to select text files or I won't be able to see it. Here's the file. I'll click it and click Open. And it opens in Excel just perfectly. This is just a raw data file. There's no formatting or anything, but it's been imported nicely into Excel. If I want to save this so I can work on it in Excel in future, I won't save it as a CSV file because I would lose, for example, any formatting I applied to the content of this worksheet. And also, if I added charts or anything like that, I would lose them too. So I could save everything that I do with this file. I'll choose File and then Save As, and I'm going to save it as an Excel worksheet. So from the Save As Type list, I'll choose Excel Workbook. When it's an Excel workbook, it's just going to open in Excel perfectly, and we're still going to see all the changes that we made to it. Now I'm going to close this file and let's have a look at a file that's not going to import nearly as well. This is a PRN file. So again, I'm going to my folder. It's a text file. I'll click it and click Open. This time, instead of seeing everything inside our Excel worksheet, we're seeing what's called a text import wizard. Excel needs a little bit of help from us to convert this into an Excel worksheet. And first of all, it wants to know what sort of format this file is in. Each of these columns of data is pretty much lined up nicely, and it's lined up nicely because there is spaces in this file. So it's what we call a fixed width file. If it were all scrunched up, it would probably be a delimited file, but this is fixed width. So I'm going to select that. And my data does have headers, so I'm going to click on My Data Has Headers. If you make an incorrect choice here, you can just come back and re-import the file and make a different selection if you weren't sure exactly what to do. I'll click Next. Now I need to break up these columns of data, so I need to make sure that these little lines are positioned so that they break up each of these columns. If I need to add lines, you can see that we can create a new line by just clicking at a certain point, and if we need to delete a line, we can just double click on it and it will be deleted, and we can move a line. When I'm sure that the lines are all in the right place, I'll click Next. Now generally, Excel will use the general format, and that's going to work perfectly for everything. The one column I usually try and work with independently is a date column because I want to make sure that Excel brings these dates in correctly, and if they were in, for example, day, month, year, that may not be the case. I'm seeing here that these are definitely month, day, year dates, so I'm going to click Date and I'm going to make sure that month, day, year is selected. That will make sure that these come in as dates correctly. And now I'm ready to finish, so I'll just click Finish. And Excel has brought the data in. Now this column isn't wide enough to show all the data, so I'll just double click to make it wide enough. But all of the data has been brought in. It's been broken up nicely. Again, this file would need to be saved as an Excel file for us to be able to work on it in future. We'll choose File, Save As. And again, I'll save this as an Excel worksheet, Excel workbook. I'll just call it Test. Click Save. And now I'll close this file. Now there is one thing we need to do before we leave Excel, and that is to undo what we did to the File Open dialog. So I'll choose File, Open, Computer. I'll go back to Worksheets, and I need to set this back to all Excel files. And then just click Cancel. Now in future when we go to open a file, we'll be shown Excel files.